Welcome to the Eerie Archive. Not everything in the archive is dead and silent. Tonight's tale is taken from page 61, The Man in the Wrong House. Tonight's case is taken from page 61. A man claimed to live in a home that had been empty for 26 years, but he remembered things no one told him, and the house remembered him back. On the evening of August 6th, 2023, local authorities in Hallow Creek received a call about movement inside a house that had been officially unoccupied since 1997. The property, 14 Barrow Lane, had no electricity, no running water, and no registered owner. The front lawn had been untouched for years. Mail collected like sediment at the door. And yet neighbours reported light, a soft yellow glow seen through upstairs windows, flickering, constant. They said it looked like someone was home, and when asked how long they'd been noticing it, they all gave the same answer. Since yesterday, even though the house had been empty for 26 years. Two officers responded just after midnight. They found no forced entry, no broken glass, no sign of trespass. The front door was closed but not locked. It opened with a soft creak, dry wood straining on rusty hinges. Inside, the air was heavy with dust, the kind that lives in stillness. Footprints marked the floor, but only theirs. The wallpaper peeled like dried skin. Every room was coated in silence. Except one. At the top of the stairs, the door to the old master bedroom was open. Warm light spilled out across the hallway floor. A lamp was on, but there were no bulbs in the house. Inside the master bedroom, the warmth was immediate. An old floor lamp glowed softly in the corner, plugged into nothing, and in the centre of the room sat a man, maybe late 60s, in a rocking chair. His hair was combed, his shirt pressed, his shoes perfectly laced. He smiled as the officers entered and said, "Edward Rainsley, you're late. I put the kettle on hours ago." He introduced himself as Edward Rainsley, and when asked how long he'd lived there, he answered without pause, "Edward Rainsley, all my life," as if that explained everything. Edward knew things he shouldn't. He spoke of a corner store that hadn't existed since 1964, recalled the names of 3 neighbours who'd all passed in the early 80s. Even the wallpaper he described, floral, faded, matched no modern records but appeared in blueprints from 1959. And when asked what year he believed it was, he said, "Edward Rainsley, that depends who's asking." His eyes didn't blink when he said it. They ran his name, no birth record, no property ownership, no phone, no social, no hospital files, nothing. No missing persons, no obituaries, no military registration. Edward Rainsley existed only in that room, only in that house, and only in the minds of those who spoke to him. Edward opened a tin box beside the chair. Inside photos, old fragile Polaroids, some black and white, all of them taken inside this house, but decades apart. In one, a hallway lit with gaslight. In another, a Christmas tree by a window long since boarded. And in every photo, the same point of view, as if someone had taken them without leaving the chair. The agents began feeling strange, subtle things like déjà vu in rooms they'd never seen, or the smell of firewood in a home with no fireplace. One officer, D. Kellum, said, "I remember my sister falling down these stairs when we were kids. He was an only child." There was a mantel clock in the room, ornate, brass hands, no chime. It ticked when Edward spoke, but stopped when he was silent. One agent filmed a 30-minute segment. Edward sat still, mouth closed, and in playback the clock didn't move once. The moment he said, "I remember the sound of this house," the hands jumped forward 11 minutes. They tested it, left Edward alone, cameras rolling, microphones live. 24 hours passed, no sound, no movement. Then at 3:14 a.m. the rocking chair creaked once. Edward whispered, "Someone forgot me," and the lamp flickered back on. Each person who interviewed Edward started losing time. Forgetfulness, unfamiliar memories, dreams of events that never happened, in houses that no longer existed. One investigator claimed she recognized furniture that had burned in a 1973 fire. Another said, "He talks like my grandfather, but my grandfather died before I was born." They tried to remove Edward. He didn't resist. He stood, adjusted his sleeves and walked toward the door. The moment he stepped across the threshold, the room's temperature dropped 9 degrees. The lamp died. The clock stopped ticking, and Edward Rainsley vanished mid-step, leaving only the chair, rocking. It rocked for 5 minutes. No wind, no movement, just the faint sound of breathing, slow and steady. Dust fell from the ceiling like ash. The officers searched the room. The rest of the house, nothing. But on the seat of the chair was a Polaroid that hadn't been there before. It showed the 3 agents standing in the doorway, looking directly at the camera. But no one remembered posing, and the timestamp on the back was from next week. None of their fingerprints were on the photo, but Edward's were. The file was marked incomplete, stored under location-based memory interference. On the last page, handwritten in red ink, "He's not trapped in the house. The house is built around him. And now that you've remembered him, he remembers you." 3 weeks later, a neighbor reported a light in the window again. Same room, same flicker. When asked who she thought it was, she said, "Edward. He used to wave at me from that window. I was 5 years old. She's 42 now, and has never lived on that street." This file is now sealed until the next file is open. Subscribe to access the archive. New cases arrive weekly.